Debbie Arnold, and I'm here with Rick Tooley from the London Multi-List. Now, you might wonder, what is the London Multi-List? Well, Rick is going to tell us. He's been involved in estate agencies for the last 24 years.
Hi, Debbie. Well, this is a brand new way of marketing.
Yeah?
Normally what happens in traditional marketing is a seller will choose an agent. That agent then will ask for an exclusivity. Effectively what you're doing is you're actually eliminating all the other agents and all their other buyers. And I'm sure if most sellers had the choice, they wouldn't want that kind of program.
Exactly.
This is slightly different. You choose your agent, and through that agent, they actually offer to network the property through our system, which allows other agents to introduce all their buyers.
So in a way, it's a bit like going multi-agency.
Multi-agency, but with one person coordinating the whole program.
So that makes it so much easier, because normally if one goes multi-agency, it's a sort of den of iniquity. Where do you go? So so you have your own master agent, is that what it is?
We call it a master agency.
Yeah.
It's very much how America's been selling properties for the last 100 years. So you probably wouldn't be surprised that we're a little bit behind here in the UK. However, things are changing quite rapidly. London Multi-List is a group of agents that have agreed together to actually share properties for the benefit of the seller. I mean, our whole goal is to create great demand for the property, and we can do that by introducing multiple buyers. And I think everyone will understand it's all about supply and demand. Mm-hmm. The more demand that you get on a property, the higher the price. And if we're all working for the seller anyway, it's a really good deal.
So it's about trusting somebody to look after your well-being. But the other thing that happens is that if you put your house on the market, I've found this before, and I'm sure a lot of people have, is that all the agents are always trying to pull your price down to sell it. I mean, this doesn't work with you. You're trying to push your prices up. So why are you so different to everybody else?
Well, I think it's the marketing that we do. We usually market with a time frame. Normally that's 30 days. So we give it a certain amount of promotion every week. Normally that's done through a thing called open houses, and as the people come through the open houses, they can see for themselves that there's other people interested. And so that is what generates usually the excellent prices that we can get.
Yes, so if you come into an open house and you see all the other people, sometimes you want what somebody else wants, so that's what makes you offer more, perhaps.
The real key is buyers don't buy what others want to sell. They buy what other buyers want to buy. And so that's why you'll see often that you have restaurants with queues outside. Yeah. You have bottles of wine that are sold before while the grapes are still on the vine. Some hairdressers charge 10 times more than other ones. Stocks that actually go on and immediately go up. It's all to do with supply and demand. And so it's interesting to know why people will queue while they'll pay in advance, for these kind of things, and it's all to do with supply and demand. We're just bringing that kind of marketing expertise to the sale of residential property. And through our system, agents can offer this system to sellers to get the best price.
I think that's absolutely brilliant. Makes total sense. Why would you stick with one agent where you could have loads? And I think the other thing is that you tend not to go out of the area. I think if you go with a local agent, you stay within your area. Now, your agents are all over the place, aren't they?
Well, we know that 90% of your buyers will come within a 4-mile radius. And so what you really want is you don't want one agent within 4 miles. You want as many agents as you can. And normally what happens is those other agents are marketing similar properties to yours. And they can only sell it to one person.
Yeah.
So what do they do with their surplus buyers? On the sole agency, they say, actually, we'll find you something else, because they won't get any commission if they introduce it to you, because they can't. It's a sole agency.
Yeah.
So this is where the bulk of the buyers come from, is the similar properties that are being marketed by our member agents. Now they can introduce them to, if it was, your property.
Fantastic.
And so the whole goal is to find 2 or 3 buyers within a short period of time that in a way compete against each other. That doesn't sound fair to the buyers, but one thing I will say with buyers, they still love the system because it gives them great confidence to know that other people would buy the property as well.
Well, as a vendor, I feel that's a fantastic system. As a buyer, it might make me quite nervous. So how would you protect me as a buyer?
I think that the confidence buyers have is knowing that if they pay a little bit more than somebody else, they're going to end up with the property. But it's only a little bit more. They haven't paid a lot more. So it always gives you confidence to know that even if you made a wrong decision, that you could probably put it on the market and sell it the following month, couldn't you, for not much less. Whereas the other way, typical when you're looking at traditional marketing, if no one's turned up, the property's been on the market for months and months, and you go and buy it, you don't know really why you've decided to buy it and no one else has. Yeah. And so you're kind of thinking, crumbs, have I paid too much?
Yes.
And so through our system, with even though you keep competing with other buyers, it gives you confidence to know, well, if I didn't buy it, look at the other people. So you know the demand's there.
Yeah, well, as a vendor, for me, there's no question that I would use your system, because to me it makes total sense. Why just be with one person selling your house when you could be with 30 others? And it's fantastic, and it works.
What I'd like to show you now is what stops most houses selling. We call it the curb value. But let's have a look. One of the main reasons a property doesn't sell is the curb value. In other words, when a buyer pulls up outside and has a look at the property, and they look at the asking price, they look at the property again, and they cannot see the value, they then normally drive away. The key is to get people through that front door. One of the secrets of overcoming curb value is the power of recommendation. This is what we do.
Hey, how are you?
Hi Lisa.
Hi guys, how are you?
How are you? Good.
Alright, how are you? You alright?
So that's our secret weapon. We've got agents in here. They're going to have a look and go and recommend the property to their buyers. Hi, how are you? Welcome to our open house. Good to see you. Here, just take one of our brochures there. Thanks, man. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. You one of those? Hi. Hi, how you doing? Good.
So that was the most fantastic open house. So many people.
Well, I've got to say it was great.
Yeah.
It was good to have all those people through. That is part of what the agent is running here, called a 30-day sale. That is the first of the open houses that they're running. They're running 3 open houses. So this week, the one that we've just done, next week and the following week. And then following that, they have a date with all offers to be submitted by.
Yeah.
We're hoping from the buyers that come through today and the ones next week that we'll have 3 or 4 people that are wanting one house, and that's where we get the premium price. What a lot of people say is, what is my house worth?
Yeah.
And what I often say is, imagine it was in an auction. You've got one buyer and the auctioneer. Chances are it's going to be what the buyer and seller agree, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we call it, in a way, that's how traditional marketing works. With the type of marketing we're talking about here is where we have 4 or 5 people bidding in the auction. And if I said to you, what do you think the price would be then?
A lot more.
And so that's all we really do. Our whole goal with this is to overcome the curb appeal by inviting other agents to introduce their buyers. We actually make a time frame for the viewings to take place, which we call an open house. It's normally just 1 hour. And then over that period of 3 weeks, we then sort of say, right, now we're looking at you to pitch your best price. But what we're sort of saying is we can take control back. The vendor's more in control, because he's saying, if you want to view it, these are the times, and then I want to sell by the 30th at 4 o'clock.
So if I as a buyer want to do this, what do I do now? I think this is the most fantastic idea. What happens next?
Well, you'd simply contact your agent, who is part of one of our members of our London multi-list, and they would actually make a time and come in and talk to you about it.
So selling your house this way seems to me the most easy way to do it, and the most exciting, to get the best offers and the least stress.